Falcon fan? This your boy Ricondo, come back at you with another video. So today we're going to talk about an article that was written by Jeff Schultz from the Athletic. He had an interview with Coach Arthur Smith about winning and tanking this year in 2022. And then we're going to just touch a little bit about the power ranking that came out from ESPN, where it had the Atlanta Falcons actually ranked 31st in NFL. So, guys, before we get into the topics, if you have not already, go ahead and please subscribe to the channel. Please hit notification bell so you know when I drop another video. Please hit like buttons. I know you guys like to hear what I talk about. Then please share my video throughout the YouTube universe so more people can come in and hear me talk about these Atlanta Falcons. So like I said, guys, I really think you guys should definitely go read this article from Joe Schultz from Athletic. That's the plug. But I thought it was a really good article talking about Arthur Smith. And, you know, the idea a lot of people think that the Falcons should just tank and just play it out for 2023 and hopefully get a Bryce Young or CJ Stroud, a quarterback, somebody like that, just try to lose games. And one of the things that he mentioned, which I thought was just, if you've been watching the head coach for this last year, you know that's not his makeup. That's not how he want to do it. His exact quote, and I'm gonna read the quote because I don't want to misquote him. But from the article, he said, "It's the dumbest thing I ever heard, that a team will try not to win football games. If you don't, there's going to be consequences." And then he talked about if you're looking at rebuilding and how you look at it back in the old days, and he mentioned how back in the 90s, you know, when Jimmy Johnson came in, he traded his best player at the time, Herschel Walker, and everybody thought he was crazy. You remember that year? He got a haul of draft picks, and they went 1-15 that year. And then if you go back and look at the next 3 years, they go to the Super Bowl, course 2 with him, and Barristers come in for the last, and they go to win another Super Bowl. So that's not how it's done today. Coaches don't have that kind of time to actually to build teams up and let teams suck for all those times, because owners want to see instant gratification. They want to see the teams to show improvement. They want to see win, and players don't just want to go out every game and just lose all games. What kind of competition is that for professional players to go out and lose? So I love the fact that he has his mindset. Nobody wants to go to the game. You're trying to sell tickets. You want to be competitive. You want to at least try to go out there and try to win as many games you can. You never know what's going to happen. They all professionals. That's why we say any given Sunday. So I love the fact that he talked about that. He also said, you know, the question was asked, is him and Terry aligned? Because, you know, when you think about it, the coaches and the general manager dynamics, coaches trying to win and general managers trying to play for the future, right? Because that's what they build off. They try picks and see their draft legacy and see what kind of team they can put together. But coaches really are not thinking about that. Coaches trying to win games. But what Arthur Smith mentioned, he said that him and Terry is on the same page. And the question, the way he worded it, and once again I'm gonna read the quote. He said, "Here's the best way I can answer. Terry and I have a shared vision how to build this thing the long term and also compete in the short term. You can't keep selling hope all the time." So basically what he means by that is that you can't just go out and say, we're going to fix this thing, we're going to get better. But then every time you look on the field, you look at the product you're putting out there, because I don't know if you can coach if you keep losing every game that you go out and play. One thing that we do know about this team last year, and what he also mentioned in this, that this team actually went 7-2 in one-score games. Now, if you know the Falcons' history in those types of games, we lacked that kind of competitiveness. We lost those games. That was our track record before. Arthur Smith, what he was able to do last year, 7-2 in those one-score games, with the roster how it was constructed last year, I think everybody would agree that the roster was not a good roster. Only thing we really had on offense was our franchise quarterback, Kyle Pitts, and then Cordell Patterson. We remember Calvin Ridley only played 5 games. He left out. So Arthur Smith really did not have a team that he really wanted. Also, the mentioned article talks about why they didn't just tear it up last year. Well, if you guys know how the salary cap was set up last year, especially in the COVID year, they already was going to be in heartache for 2 years regardless. Last year or this year. What he wanted to do, he wanted to come in, being a first-time head coach, first-time general manager. They want to actually see who they had in this building, who they can trust, who they can try to build with. That's why he mentioned signing Grady Jarrett and Jake Matthews and Younghoe Koo, some cornerstone that you can actually build a roster around. You didn't know who you had. You definitely wanted to see how the offense was going to run with Matt Ryan. But at the same time, they kind of figured that if you keep restructuring Matt Ryan's contract, the salary cap was just going to get larger and larger. So it was time to, go ahead and change course. And we are in a sweet spot going into next year. So that's what I like about some of the things he said in the article. He also mentioned 2 teams that we could actually look at as a blueprint of how they want to try to build this team. He mentioned the Kansas City Chiefs, how Andy Reid came in 2013, built the team around, built the team up, and then in 2017 they actually went out and got their now franchise quarterback Patrick Mahomes in 2017. But if you guys can remember, Patrick didn't play in 2017. He only played that last game, and then he came in 2018, and we know what happened. 2 Super Bowls so far. But the ideal is they built the team up around Patrick before he actually got on the field. That's the reason why they didn't want to go out and get a young quarterback last year, because we already know the issues with our offensive line. The team was not a good team. A young quarterback it probably would have just damaged him, and that's the reason why they felt like it wasn't a good time to go put a young quarterback around. So you build this thing right, build the team up, then bring that quarterback in. I think they got an idea. They might have their franchise quarterback. We don't know. We don't know what Marcus Mariota is going to be this year. We don't know what Desmond Ridder is going to be. But the way they drafted, getting him in the 3rd round, they still can go out if they want to in 2023 and pick another quarterback, and nobody wouldn't say anything because they got Desmond Ridder in the 3rd round. So he also mentioned the Pittsburgh Steelers, and what I like about what he mentioned about the Pittsburgh Steelers is somebody that comes in and every year be competitive no matter what the circumstances. If we know Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season, always in the game, but everybody knows when you play the Pittsburgh Steelers, you got to come with your hard hat. That's the kind of team that Arthur Smith is trying to create for the Atlanta Falcons. And honestly, I can honestly say this, I don't think the Falcons had many teams like that when teams played the Atlanta Falcons, they knew they had to come play. That's the kind of team we want to create. So I just love the fact he talked about he believed in this team. He believed the makeup of this team. Got a lot of guys on 1-year deals that want to come out and compete, want to be able to prove themselves. We don't know we have in a quarterback situation, so I understand that. But I believe this team is going to be better than a lot of people think. I believe they're going to go out and compete, and I believe that the vision that they have is I think they're doing it the correct way. Um, if you look at the blueprint, how they had Cordell Patterson last year, they brought him in on a 1-year deal. He came in. They found a role for him. One of the roles he had probably his whole career. And guess what? He wanted to come back and play with a team again. We can still do that. We can do that with a player like Lorenzo Carter, somebody that came in on a 1-year deal, um, and we want to stay. You know what I'm saying? Casey Hayward, even though we got him 2 years, he's a little bit older, but somebody that wants to stay with this team. So next year when we have all that money in the salary cap, and we building a winning culture, we building a team that nobody wants to come and play on Sundays. They be like, that's the team I want to go to, because that team, they ball out every week in and week out. So that's what I took from the article. Like I said, it is a good read. It talks about his philosophy, what he thinks about tanking, how he see this team, their vision, how they felt, going into last year and to this year, how they see the team moving forward. And you guys let me know if you think that if you're riding with what the coach talking about. All right, so with all that being said, of course, like I said, we're going to talk about the power rankings real quick. Like I said, the ESPN power rankings came out. They talked about the Falcons being 31st in the power rankings, which means the only team they had below us was the Carolina Panthers. So you can take that however you want it. Like I said, and that's after the draft. So they're looking at our team as it constructed after the draft, and they saying we the second worst team in the NFL right now. So could have a lot to do that we lost. You don't have Calvin Ridley. Of course, we lost Matt Ryan, our starting quarterback. Obviously, nobody believes that Marcus Mariota is going to do anything. Nobody believes that Des Murder is going to be, any kind of contributor this year either. So they don't believe in the defense, obviously. Obviously, I don't think they believe in his coaching staff, because being ranked, being the second worst team in NFL, I mean, behind teams like the Houston Texans and the Jacksonville Jaguars and things like that. It's just interesting to me to see that the Atlanta Falcons are ranked 31st in the NFL in power ranking. And of course, this is just one person, whoever wrote this, it was just their opinion about it. But I kind of like it. And the reason why, because, like I said, got a lot of guys that could come in with chips on their shoulder, and they can prove everybody wrong. They can come in, this coaching staff. We talking about a defensive coordinator in Dean Pease, who only had 2 losing seasons and since he's been a coach in this league. One of them was last year. So I don't think he's going to come in and let these guys half-ass and don't put out on the field. Like I said, if you look at Arthur Smith, you look at his demeanor, I don't think he's the coach that's going to take nonsense and let these guys not put out the best effort week in and week out and try to compete. So if we only just look at last year, like I said, with that, the way that roster was constructed, and I believe that the roster is better this year than it was last year, except for the quarterback position, of course, and our schedule is going to be tougher. But other than that, I think this team is going to be competitive. At this point, like I said, I'm not doing any predictions. That'll be later on after some training camp, and let's see what these guys look like, see how the offense is going to look a little bit before I start putting any predictions on this team. I have really no expectations this year but I do believe that they're better than the 31st team in the league. So, you guys let me know what you think about that. Think if it kind of does it as a Falcon fan, does that piss you off that most of the league, most of the analysts, most of the talking heads out there believe that the Falcons gonna be one of the worst team in the NFL, which means that they saying we're gonna have the number 1 and number 2 pick going into the draft next year. So, how you like those apples? So guys, let me know what you think about. Like I said, go ahead and go to the Athletic. Actually, read the article from Jeff Schultz that he did with interview with Arthur Smith, and then give me your thoughts on our power ranking at number 31 in the NFL. And this is your boy Ricondo coming back at you with another video. Peace.